today, just
Whoops.
because,
Stop.
at least
Stop. Stop.
locally,
Stop. What?
we may not get a lot of live views or views tonight because Steeler game tonight, Thursday night. So
Oh, right. I forgot the
yep,
Steeler games tonight. My bad.
yep, yep.
Well,
So
I guess we'll find out.
yes. Although, again, you and me are the rarity of we're sports guys and we're comic guys. It's
Right.
usually one or the other.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, and then there's guys like Grant and Marvin and those guys. Like they sometimes don't care about sports and they'll just watch the podcast anyway. Or they'll
Yes.
watch the podcast and they'll have the game on in the back on mute so that they can watch the game, but they
Yeah.
don't listen to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, welcome to the podcast. We're
Yes.
here doing stuff. Uh, so while you're hanging out, we got some stuff to remind you of, like the bonus to the bonus sale, which is this Saturday. We have the Jim Rugg, Don Simpson, and Robert Hack signing at the warehouse
Mhm.
on Saturday at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. It will be cold, so
Yes.
bundle up. The warehouse is not
Winter
heated.
finally hit today.
Yeah, it's snowing outside my house right now. So
Exactly.
yeah, so make sure you do that. Also remember the warehouse is open 11 to 6 every Saturday to the end of the year for half price dollar books.
Mhm.
Um Next week, Black Friday,
Yes.
20% off a $50 or more purchase. That is a qualifying purchase. So currently, the only thing I definitely know will not count are dollar books because dollar books are half price
Yep.
starting that day all the way to the end of the year. Why? Because
Yes.
it's fucking cold out and we don't want you like so if you don't want to shop the warehouse, you can shop in the store where it's warmer. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, so all the stores dollar stocks become 50 cents on Black
Mhm.
Friday till the end of the year. Come and do that. Black Friday sale. Check your local NDC for what else we're doing exclusion wise, because some of the stores may exclude other things, like if it's something super new,
I
like they
imagine
may just not do
sealed
that.
product, sealed magic cards,
Sealed
sealed stuff.
TCGs, some of it might be, some of it might not.
Mm.
Like booster boxes might not be, but like a bundle may. I don't know.
Mm.
It's going to be. I would leave that kind of stuff up to the store. It depends on what they want to do.
Depends on the
Um,
age of the booster box too.
that too. Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
seen some
That too.
boxes from 5 years ago still sitting there collecting dust.
Right,
You might
right.
you might get a discount for those.
And then some of the stores may do other things too. So just take a look around and see what they're doing, see what we're doing. But that's the gist of things. Um, so yeah, there's that. And then uh also Saturday night. Oh yeah, it's Grant's book release. His book release party at Back Alley Brewing in Dormont. Starting at 7. Um So if anyone wants to go to that, go check that out. I'm gonna try to make it. I have another meeting I have to go to in Delmont that day. Way the fuck out by Justin's house. So
Era.
uh, yeah, I got some Star Trek shit to do. So I gotta see what time that meeting is. Um, but I will try to hit both. But yeah. I'm letting Grant know that right now because he just sent me that text as I was like, oh yeah, that's the other thing I need to mention.
Yep.
And then don't forget on the 14th of December, I think it's the 14th, right? Yeah, 14th.
Yes.
We have two things going on. We have a north and a south option. So if you're up north, you can go to the warehouse and we have some vendors setting up in the warehouse. Um, Couple comic dealers, couple toy dealers are going to be at the warehouse sale that day, setting up. There's no charge to get in the warehouse, but it is only open from 11 to 6. So go make sure you check that out. I know Mega Road's going to be there, K&J. I think there's one or two other, there's a couple other comic dealers I know that are coming. And then if you don't want to drive all the way up there and you're closer to the city, you can go check out Sandy Fox and Lex Lang down at the waterfront. Sandy is the speaking voice of Betty Boop. She also did some Sailor Moon. Lex is the big bad on
Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Kaisen. God,
There we
I can
go.
never say that right. And he also did some guys on Bleach, and Naruto and a bunch of other stuff. And he was Doctor Doom on Earth's Mightiest Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Go check them out. They're great people. Sandy's a Pittsburgher. We love to hang out with those guys. We love to support our friends. So make sure you do that.
Was it Steel
Okay.
City?
Oh yeah, still
Will be
CityCon's
there.
the weekend before that. Justin's actually gonna be helping out one of
Yep.
our vendor buddies. He's gonna be helping out
Yes,
Craig
sir. Yep.
that weekend. So make sure you stop by and say hi to him. Free high fives, of
Yes.
course.
Yes.
Um I will not be there, I don't think, because I'm probably gonna end up having to help out in most likely Cranberry. Uh if not one of the
Again.
other stores. Mostly because it's December, we're in retail, and my life is crazy at that point because it's
Yes.
December in retail. Yay. So, yeah, that's about it.
That's
So,
good. Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that's about it. And then the new year.
yeah. And then but there's a week in January where my wife's going on a cruise, so I'm just gonna take that same week off and I'm just gonna sit around the house with the dogs all week and not do anything. I mean, literally not do anything. I'm going to literally not do anything. I may not even shower that whole week. Like,
Oh,
okay, I'll probably shower,
I was gonna
but
say,
I may not do really anything else. I may just take the dogs out, eat, and like binge watch something I've never seen before. Um, so if you have any good things for me to check out to watch, make sure you send me some cool stuff, some cool ideas. It'll be great. Okay. So speaking of cool things, I got some cool stuff finally back from CBCS. So I sent these in when we did the Robert Hack signing. There was a bit of a delay because these books are from the 40s and they were actually a little bigger than a Golden Age book container. So they actually were Golden Age magazine size. So
wow,
they ended up having to be set in the queue again. Um, the good part is because they were magazine size, they ended up being cheaper. So I got a bit of a
nice.
refund, which was awesome. So this is the oldest book I own. This is a Green Lantern 9. It came back as a 3.0 at a conserved amateur um rating. That's what the little extra bit is up there. It's because it came from a uh like a heritage style pedigree collection. But
Wow.
this came out in fall of 1943. Um,
Nice.
so that's pretty awesome. And then this is the second oldest book I own, which came out in 1944 in January, and this is All American Comics 55. Um, and like I look at this is like an iconic Alan Scott cover, and I just keep thinking like, how did they not know he was gay at that point? Come on, come on, come on, like,
Because he wasn't wearing
like
a
come on,
rainbow.
apparently they just didn't talk about it, but the
Ah,
runaway trolley. Hey, hey. So,
mm,
um, but it was kind of cool. I'm really excited about it. I was actually showing these off to a friend of mine he usually does CGC, and he was
mhm.
really impressed by the cases and the look of everything. So
Yeah,
he
they,
was, yeah,
they've, to me, they're better at this point. They're just
yeah,
eclipsing
agreed,
CGC. So,
agreed.
yeah. Yeah, I went
You
to
went to
visit.
Philly, right?
Yeah, I was in Philly to visit my stepson. Is basically the senior uh year, last second to last game of the year. They won in OT. It was the most god awful football I've ever seen.
So it's
Um,
Temple, of course.
both teams were bad,
Oh,
and they were
okay.
both teams were named the Owls. One
Ooh,
one was from, was it Central Florida Owls, and then it was the
okay.
Temple Owls, and it was like watching two Cleveland Browns teams playing each other. It was awful.
Oh,
It was a
God.
it
So
went
it's
into
like,
overtime. It was
oh, so it's
thank
like the,
God.
it's like it's like watching like the Browns play the Lions. Like, just
Like
like,
the 0 and 20,
yeah,
both 0 and 20 teams battling each other to see who's
yeah,
worse. Yeah,
yeah.
it was bad. But the band was fun because Harry plays in the band. They were the stars of the show. The football players were. Uh, but I did get to go to a couple local shops within walking distance of the hotel. Uh, the one shop didn't have a lot. The other shop did. Uh, I ended up picking up Hulk
Ooh.
194, and getting ever so close to finishing my Herb Trimpe run of Hulk. I found this is a more Marvel interactive book. They were called Battle Books, and I got the Wolverine version.
Nice.
I've never seen these before, and I was like, huh. I had to look it up on Cover Price to see if these were actually. It's a series. It was just is a Wolverine one I've never seen. It is Tucci cover. It's a Tucci cover.
Yep. Yep.
So, and the last but not least is this. They were selling it, and I remember this as a kid because it's one of the few comic things I had as a kid. Uh, the book and the records is
Mm.
Incredible Hulk is in really nice condition. There's a tear like right up here,
Yep.
but in general, it's in good condition. The record is immaculate in this.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I'll get it. It's something different, you know. But yeah, it was a fun little excursion there. I think the wife got a Jim Rugg Hulk t-shirt.
That's awesome.
She's actually wearing it right now.
That's awesome. Very cool. Oh man. All right. Well, we have just a couple of books to review, and then we're going to talk about the books in review for the year.
Mhm.
Um, so we're going to do those real quick and just get them out of the way.
Yeah.
So, bam. I'm going to go first. So, this is the Rockefellers by Ghost Machine, Pete Tomasi, Francis Manipool, Rob Lee. This is kind of like Tomasi's Fantastic Four type characters for the Ghost Machine family. Starts out in the 25th century, uh, and they literally say that's 400 years from now if you're counting. So in case you don't know how that works, um, and the family's ship crashed. They're running over ice. This cyborg looking bounty hunter guy is running after them. The grandmother realizes that they're stepping on ice and it's cracking. Um, to save the family, she kind of cracks the ice and the bad guy falls in. They run into this basically time portal thing, but it randomizes the time every time you use it. So you don't know where you're going to end up, and it's never going to go to the same place twice. So they kick through, bad guy doesn't make it. They end up in 2024 in Olympia, Washington. Uh, and they're having like a Thanksgiving barbecue. They have at this point like rigged up the pool to be like super heated so like they can actually like have like a real pool thing. The grandfather's doing like pull-ups on a tree and all the old ladies are watching him and they're loving it. And he's like, I'm 125. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you should come and show us how to do that. Blah blah blah. It's actually pretty cute. Um, yeah, and the son is kind of like messing with his friends in the pool, and he's like, I call this thing the tsunami. I kind of want to try it. And they're like, oh, you should do that. And he throws it in the pool, and it like pushes all the water out of the pool, and they end up on the roof, and everybody's soaked. And they're like, you can use the dryer if you want, guys. It's cool. And he's like, afterwards, everybody leaves, and he's like, hey, when are we gonna get back to our time? And like, why do like I miss my girlfriend and all this other stuff. And you know, uh they kind of do like a cool thing where they let the dog fly the helicopter. Yeah, that's right. The dog flew the helicopter. And they do like a cool like jump thing where they do like a parachute thing. And then like the dad is talking to his brother in the future through like a weird temporal phone video call thing. And they basically say they're going to be stranded, and they're stranded there all over this little, what looks like a, almost like a head, like a head with like a little bit of hair with like some, I don't know, like a veiny thing going on, and like like a glass jar. So we don't really know what it is yet, but it's definitely going to be a weird experiment that people are hunting them down in time for. Um, I'm in. I'm super in. Pete Tomasi can do no wrong in my world. This book is so good. Um, it's definitely one of my favorite things. I am giving this thing like a like the full freaking big breakfast, like a McDonald's big breakfast. Uh, which I realize they still have, by the way. They still offer
Do
that.
they?
I did,
Huh.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I saw it
say.
the other day. I
I
was
thought
like,
they
what
got rid
the?
of it with the styrofoam, all the
Oh, no, no,
styrofoam
no. It's
shit
still
they used to
there.
do.
Yeah, I
Wow.
drove through the drive through the other day. It was like, holy shit, they still have the big breakfast? What the hell? So maybe I'll bring one tomorrow if I come out, if I get up early enough to go out for to do the whatnot sale with you. Maybe I'll bring you
Ah,
a big breakfast. So
huh.
um but it was very, very good. I really enjoyed the hell out of this. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I like Tomasia Light. Everything from Ghost Machine has been kicking ass. We'll talk a little bit more about that later when I talk about my stuff for what I
I
like
was
this
gonna
year.
say it seems like
Uh,
this was very Swiss Family Robinson meets Sliders with a little
it's
bit
like
of Doctor
Swiss
Who in
Family.
it.
It's more like Swiss Family Robinson meets Fantastic Four. Um,
Okay.
is kind of how I'm pitching it.
Okay.
Um, it's more, or like Lost in Space with a little bit of Lost in Space, which is basically Swiss Family Robinson in space anyway.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's Swiss Family Robinson meets Fantastic Four is the way I'm pitching it. So,
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna flip to your book, and then I'm gonna run downstairs and take an
Okay.
antihistamine because my nose is doing all kinds of crazy shit, and I have not taken my evening one. So I will be right back, but I will be able to listen to you because I have my earphones in.
Okay. All right. We got Wolverine number 3 of the current run. We left off with Wolverine finding a Wendigo that was basically like a little kid. And it was very tragic and everything. And we left off with the Wendigo basically staying over a body of one of Department H's soldier, thinking that he killed him. And reality, I guess that's not what happened. Apparently, it was drawn to the blood of the dude's bleeding everywhere. So it was just he kind of goes into like a blood frenzy, and then Wolverine kind of has to fight him again. This time Wolverine is realizing that the kid is becoming a little bit more uh towards the Wendigo side than the kid trying to hold on to his humanity. Um, because he's becoming more savage, more lethal in as far as trying to kill him. Um, but they get interrupted as Department H comes down, and they're still trying to like they see the Wendigo and they're sitting there and they're trying to kill the Wendigo, and then Wolverine's trying to get the Wendigo away from Department H without him killing one of the Department H guys, while trying to not get himself killed himself. Uh, and it just becomes a cluster of events of Wolverine trying to balance everything. Finally, Wolverine does like slice the Wendigo, and it kind of snaps the kid out of it, out of the frenzy, because again he speaks and he says, "Please no," um, and he actually puts him in like a chokehold and makes him pass out. But this is where Department H tries to uh kill him and kill Wendigo, and they want to know what happened to all the like all the civilians and everything, which from book one we know was uh Cyber um killing and going on a rampage. Um and Wolverine tells him so. He's like, look, you'll find evidence, you'll see uh how this was done. He's like, obviously, difference, forensic evidence and everything will prove me innocent, prove the kid innocent. Um, and he drags the kid away, while a Department H agent is kind of just processing all the information. And that's what the last you see of this situation. Now, the book takes you to I think it's Japan. It and you see Cyber with his golden arms now, because he's possessed by whatever this golden metal covering over his appendages is controlling him. Um, and he's taking out all these bodyguards and everything for Lady Deathstrike. And of course, Lady Deathstrike is like, "How dare you do this? I'm gonna kill you like a dog." And she starts fighting him. And as she does, the gold gets into her uh, claws, her hands, and takes over her. And next thing you know, no, she's possessed. And that's where the book ends. I like the design of like this possession, whatever you want to call it. I kind of like where they're going with this a little bit. Reminds me of the one of my favorite Wolverine covers of from volume two, number 145, where he had the golden claws. I feel like
Mhm.
that's where this is going to end. Um, so I'm giving this a solid scrambled eggs. Give me uh, some salsa on top of the eggs a little bit. Uh, some bacon, some sausage. It's definitely moving the story along. The art is good. Um, I definitely like this volume better than the previous volume of Wolverine so far. The start is way better. Um, and there's no really Krakoa bull crap in here, which is, we'll talk about that later, but I like where this is going. This is feels very volume two, volume three, where it's all about Wolverine and his adventures and how he's dealing with things. Um, so
Cool.
definitely one of my favorite books of the year. The many Wolverine books that have come out this
So many Wolverine books.
year.
Uh, all right. So this book you and I both read.
Yes.
Um,
And I didn't even know
I
this was coming out. So
yeah, I knew it was coming out and I forgot about it. I really enjoyed this book. Um, I, I it was a little. it reminded me a lot of the Batgirl book, because it's a lot of inner monologue.
Yeah.
The art style is very similar. Um, I thought it was very appropriately written for Renee
Yes.
Montoya.
Well, for
Um,
the question in general, because
and yeah, yeah, well,
I
that's what I meant. Yeah,
yeah, this is the
yeah,
way I like from those who remember the Justice League cartoon series. It's kind of how he was in the cartoon series.
mhm,
Granted, different version of the question, but he always did monologue himself
yeah,
constantly. And it's part of
yeah,
the character. And I love that they're still continuing this, even though it is a different version of the question, and
yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm kind of cool with this. Again, DC doing well with this all in. And
I'm just hoping that uh all of the extra characters they brought into this book pan out. Because there's a lot, like Ted
mhm,
Cord and Jaime, and
mhm,
then like Animal Man and the Challengers,
yeah,
Batman, Wonder Woman, Batwoman, and like
yeah.
of course they had to bring Batwoman in there because I was like, okay, they had to do that.
And
Um,
Superman. Superman
and
was in there too.
Superman. The fight
Mhm.
scene was pretty good.
Yes.
And oh, and Fire was in there. That was cool too. Um, and it's very noir-y, which I like
Yeah.
because that's just that's a question book. I don't know if I really like this whole like Wild West look to her though.
Ah,
Um, I
I'm
mean it's
kind of
kind of
cool with
growing on
it.
me,
Yeah.
but like I like more of like the just the trench coat and like more of a detective-y look, but that's just
I
me.
I kind of like it a little bit. Like I don't consider it Western, more as more of a bounty hunter-ish kind of look
Okay,
to it. And
okay,
I feel like
do
that's
that.
kind of there that's where they're leading with the story is they make them like the Justice League kind of promotes her as kind of a peacekeeper slash sheriff slash detective slash bounty hunter.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and I'm excited to see where the series kind of goes. We haven't had a question book for what, 3 or 4 years?
Oh, probably more than that.
Well,
Um,
that black label one, how long
oh
was
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because I have that.
But that wasn't her though. We haven't
No,
had a
that was not.
We haven't had a Montoya book since shit pre 52 because the pre 52 Batwoman run was the one where they were going to have her and Batwoman get married. Or no, the new 52 was the one where they were going to have her and Batwoman get married. And then Dan DiDio said no, no one gets married in the DC universe. So Johnny J.H. Williams III quit the book, and that's they like just tanked the story.
Yeah.
So, um, but I still love that run. That was the last time I think I really remember Renee being in anything like um
I
but
think she's popped in and out of certain storylines, I'm sure.
yeah,
It's been a long time. It's been a
agreed.
while.
For
So
sure. For sure. Um yeah, it's been good, but I always like it. I'm going to give this um I'm going to give this an omelet that is so big that you don't know what's in it until you cut it open.
a surprise.
It's a surprise omelet. Yes. So it's a questionable omelet. Yes. Yes, the questionable omelet. Yes. So, but I think it'll be good. So, it'll be tasty no matter what you do to it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the stuff that we enjoyed this year,
Mhm.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we both have a list. I couldn't really like we were talking about this earlier. I could not think of a lot of stuff I didn't like. But I
It's
thought of a
been
lot of
very few and
stuff.
far between. I
Yeah.
have
But I thought of
three
a yeah,
that
but I thought of a
I
lot of stuff
remember
I did
distinctly.
like.
Yeah.
So I have no problems going over the stuff I did like. Um I just like I said, I just don't have a lot of stuff I didn't like. So
Well, well, let's just go like where we can go. Like it's off the
okay.
cuff.
And if you say
We may
something I
do.
have,
Yeah.
I'll cross it off my list and vice versa.
Okay.
So um you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Which one are we doing? Are we doing like or dislike or one
What
shot or
why don't you
series?
how about this? Why don't you do the dislikes and I'll do the
Okay.
likes since you have dislikes and I don't.
Okay. Okay.
So
Um, well, I'm gonna go with probably, and I think most people agree with me, uh the Krakoan, like the end of the Krakoan era X-Men. Um, sloppily written, like it was piss poor written. It I think that was the most frustrating thing of it started out so good. Like and I think I don't know if it's Marvel's fault, um if it's like like someone else's fault, like one of the writers not messing around, not knowing where they were going to go with this. I don't know. Um, it started out so good, and then it just this like the last couple years just Inferno was okay, like eh, but everything Krakoa at like towards the end, hot garbage across the board. Um,
well, I can tell you that on that end, I never think that Hickman sticks the landing ever.
I
Like
I think
like
Hickman
he
and Marvel
takes
got into
too long.
something.
I think he takes too long to tell a story, and he by the time he gets to the end, he forgets what the story was about, and he doesn't stick the landing.
Yeah.
That's how I
I
feel.
think him and Mark but he quit early on this, if I remember right. Correct. He
Yeah,
was
he
supposed to
quit to
do
go
this
to
for 5 years.
Substack. Yeah.
Yeah.
He quit to
Yeah.
go to
So that
Substack.
I will put a little bit on that of uh on him for quitting early and saying and leaving.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to put this on Marvel of you should know how X-Men work. You could have spun this better.
Yeah,
And
I
they
agree.
didn't, and they messed it up, and it's going to take them like I'm reading the new Uncanny stuff. It's not bad, but boy, they got a long way to go to recover.
Yeah,
It's
they
going to
got
be
to
a
dig it
long
out of the
road to
hole.
recover, big time, especially with X-Men 97,
Yep.
uh X-Men possibly being in the movies in 2025. Um,
Right.
we're gonna get cameos. We're gonna get series with them in it. You gotta have the comics catch up a little bit with it. I mean, what the Wolverine books were generally good for the most part. Uh, I was not a big fan of the deep cut. I thought that was kind of bad, which is sad because it's Claremont writing it.
Right.
That has to be one of the worst. Um, Infernals was hot garbage. That was disappointing. Took too long. I did read the last issue and that was awesome, but it's sad that it took 10 issues for issue 10 to be good and the other nine were bad. uh
Surprised he made it that long.
yeah. And what the Godzilla Skater Die was, I remember that vividly of how crappy that was. And I think that was just all the Godzilla books have come out. Everybody loves them, except that one. It seems like not a lot of people seem to like that one. I kind of agree. They were just putting out a Godzilla book to put out a Godzilla book. And that was,
Yeah. All right. Are you done with your dislikes?
I think that was pretty much the ones that I recall from this year that
Okay.
I can remember. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do my likes, and then if you have stuff that's not on this list, you can add to it.
Okay.
So first I'm gonna do Energon universe in general. All of it. Transformers, Void Rivals, Duke, Scarlet, Destro, Cobra Commander, and G.I. Joe. Not G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. That's a separate book. Um, all of it together has been just so good. Williamson or Williams has been writing this book or these books in a way that have energized, no pun intended, um, our childhood in a way that it is reconnecting with people to put new life into it without taking away and bastardizing anything from back in the day.
Yeah.
Um, I really like how he's doing it. He's really taking his time and being careful with it. I really love what him and like Daniel Warren Johnson and all those guys that are working on these books are doing. They're doing a great job. Uh, my next one is all the Ghost Machine Studio stuff. Oh my God. Like everything, including Geiger, which is my least favorite of them. But Redcoat, um, Devour, um, Hyde Street, Rockefellers, Rook, everything. Like everything that's come out of them has been a banger. Every single one. They have been from the writing to the art, it has been solid. And they're like the book quality is good, like the page quality is good, like everything about it is good all the way around. There's nothing about any of those books I wouldn't recommend to every single person I know. In fact, Devour is actually my single issue, my favorite single issue of the year because I think it was just as a whole, it was a one shot that did so much, and it was perfect. It was a beautiful horror book. It was
Mm.
absolutely perfect. I Heart Skull Crusher is a great book for the guys who don't like manga. It's like a manga book without too much manga art. Uh, it's got vibes of it. It's fun. It's very like I kind of take it as like old show and jump, like early show and jump vibe to it.
Mhm.
Um, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. It's got a lot of fun to it. The art's fun. The writing's great. It's just an enjoyable book. Make sure you check that out. Spawn Rat City is probably way up there for me, and it's probably on your list too.
Yep.
That is probably which is that I have to say it is weird because it is the only Spawn book that I've read more than like I don't know 6 issues of consecutively uh in a long time. And I'm really enjoying the hell out of it. Like Erica Schultz has been writing this thing very well. The art's fantastic. It's a
Mhm.
good continuation of the story, linking it to the past while still having its own flavor.
Mhm.
Um
It's
and
very
being part of that universe
it's
without it
very
being
Batman Beyond type.
yeah.
That's the
It
feel.
is kind of like Spawn Beyond. Yeah,
Mhm.
very much. Feral is
Yes.
another one out there. Trish and
So good.
Tony are doing such a great book with that. If you're into anthropomorphic, well, not even anthropomorphic, they are
It's,
cats.
if you love animals in the Walking Dead world, that's
Yeah,
basically
pretty
what it
much.
is.
Yeah. It's kind of that.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool. Um, if you like horror and you like cats or animals at all, it's kind of a good book.
Yeah.
Local Man is another Tony Fleecs book that's been crushing it all year long. Him and Tony or him and uh Tim Seeley just been doing wonderful things with that book, and they're bringing that '90s image vibe back to life with bringing like a young blood type uh or like a Wildcats type team without having that team actually existing, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. They're adding a lot of flavor and humor into it of now while still
Mhm.
having that stuff from back then. Deviant is also a great horror book that's been kicking ass this year. That book was creepy as hell. The art was fantastic. I loved every second of it. Um, One of my personal favorites, Alan Scott Green Lantern, uh, might be might be one of the shining moments this year for me because uh it was a very good story for Alan to have. We got to see a Red Lantern for the first time back in the 40s, which was cool. Uh, we really got to see a little more interpersonal. relationships with Alan and one of his friends. And we got to kind of see that develop, which was cool. And my last one is X-Men 97. I thought it was very
Mhm.
well done. It partnered with the show very well. And that's kind of my top list. I thought that was like all the really great books that came out this year, like this either as a series or as a single book.
Yeah.
That's what I have for this year. I think that kind of sums it up. But you know, that if you're gonna ask me what to read that came out this year, those are the books I'm gonna recommend.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go with the Violator series. It's again, you said Rat City. I agree with the Rat City. Violator is also really good. Like what, the last 3 weeks or last three um issues, and it's been. I love hearing the origin. I like seeing the like all the kind of the origin of everything in the Spawn universe. It's kind of we're getting a little bit of another point of view other than just Spawn. Um, the Animal Pound, um, really good. Uh, that's very relevant to current events. Way too close to my mind, but really good. Tom King again, ball
Yeah.
hits one out of the ballpark. Really good. Enjoying the new Shadow Man. Been waiting for, actually most of the Valiant books have been pretty solid. But I know Shadow Man again, personal favorite. Um, I want to say the Incredible Hulk has been a very steady across the board. The current run, I should say. Um, Definitely better than the Donny Cates um, Machine Hulk thing, whatever the heck they were trying to do with that. Um, thank God they kind of fixed it and got him back to normal Hulk things. I do like the element of horror in this one. It seems a little bit more towards the immortal uh, universe. Again, dark forces, fighting monsters, cool. Um, Speaking of Immortal Thor, beautiful artwork. Alex Ross can do no wrong on these covers. Um, I I've enjoyed that. I haven't read it the last couple. I'm a little bit behind on that, but just beautiful books, beautiful books. Um, I think that's about it. Like I said, a Wolverine. I'm gonna read most of the Wolverine. Like I did like the Revenge is fun. Uh, Greg Capullo drawing Wolverine is always a treat. He doesn't do it very often, so it was nice to see. Um, I did like the one X-Men that did do with Krakoa was the X-Men Heir of
Air of
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that pays off for 2025 and they don't just make it a limited thing and we don't never hear about this ever again. Um, I thought it was a kind of a cool story. I like the outcome. I'm kind of looking forward to see if this is going to be integrated with the X-Men universe going forward. I don't think it has yet, but it's still very early. So, um, and of course, the Absolute Batman, Absolute Universe in general, hitting the ballpark on all the cylinders. Uh, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. I'm reading the Batman that happens to be my favorite out of the three. Uh, I know that's not. You said you not a
It's
big
the
fan of
art,
the
man.
art.
Like,
The art's
just
bothering you.
yeah.
But if you're not a stickler like John for the art, um,
Hey, man. I don't mock it. Like, I don't mock it when other people don't like the art and something, and they don't
that's
like it.
true.
It's
That's
fine.
true.
You know, it's
But
whatever.
it's Scott Snyder writing, and
Yeah.
it's hard to knock Scott Ryder writing Batman. It's really hard to knock on that.
Yeah.
Um, Superman being written by Jason Aaron. What else can you say about that?
Right.
Um, and Wonder Woman is also doing very, very well. Again, great writing, great art. I hopefully DC can keep it up. Maybe they're on the upswing, getting everything straight out, which we've been doing more DC books, what, the last 2, 3 months?
Yeah, their all in stuff has been kind of helping out. So
Yeah, yeah.
like they've been really
It's picking
pushing
up
out some
there.
pretty good stuff with the all in.
So,
So,
uh,
hopefully it keeps going. Fingers
yes,
crossed.
yes, yes, very much so. So,
But
yeah,
all
those
right,
have been my
guys.
likes on that. Yeah,
Cool. All right. Well, that was the year in review.
yeah.
Uh I got to get ready for our whatnot sale. So if you guys aren't doing anything now and you want to and you don't want to watch this what looked like a very boring first quarter, let me see where we're at now. Oh, we're losing 7-3. 4 minutes
Ugh,
left in the second quarter. Uh
ouch.
till the Browns. The Browns.
Ugh.
Anyway, if you feel bad and you want to buy some books, I'll be running our Whatnot sale here in about 15 minutes. Just look for New Dimension Comics on Whatnot. Uh, it's gonna be a lot of covers that feature women on them, not in like cheesecake style. Just happens to be women. $2 starts. It's gonna be a good time. Uh, Soundtrack tonight, Barry White. Awesome. All right. Have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of the year. We will see you in January. And have a great, safe, happy holiday. Make sure you spend some time with your loved ones. Make sure you spend some time in some shops, or multiple shops, in fact. And if you can't spend money in our store, spend some money in somebody else's because you got to keep the lights on, got to keep those guys paid, got to keep those guys employed because you know what? It is a rough world out there, and we're all small businesses too. So come on out and hang out, and we appreciate all you guys, and we wouldn't be anywhere without you, and we really appreciate you. We just want to make sure you guys know that. So all right, have a great night, guys, and we'll see you in 25.
See you guys. All right. Have fun, John.
All right, bye. Are you gonna moderate while you watch the game and be sad?
I don't know. I tried moderating last time and I ended up falling asleep. Oh,
Well,
I'm
if
on the couch and I'm watching you on my phone and I'm like, Cupcake had to poke me and she's like, "Hey, it's late." I'm like, okay.
well, you can log into your own account this time because I set you as a moderator. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, I was on my own account. That was the
yeah,
sad part.
well, you'll be fine. So,
I'm sure.
all right.
All
Well,
right.
if you're in there, you're in there. If not, no worries. So.